Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our webinar this afternoon. Well, this morning still. The webinar is about the CENELEC Meeting Registration System, shortly called MRS. And the webinar is dedicated to all CENELEC TC officers. My name is Else, and I will be moderating the webinar in the background. As usual, you're all muted, so you cannot speak out loud, but you can use the Q&A panel to submit your questions. As you can see on the slide here, you can use that panel. Should your question be unreplied during the presentations, we take care, and the speakers at least take care of replying your questions at the end of the presentations. Should there be no time left anymore to reply your question, please make sure or note that we will make a Q&A report available via the website. The webinar has been recorded, so we will provide you also with the presentation and the recording afterwards. Should you be on Twitter or X, as we call it today, you can use the training for standards hashtag, and you can find CEN and CENELEC. You handle standards for EU. So I think that on the next slide, I have the pleasure to introduce you to our speakers of today. I'm sitting here together in the meeting center in Brussels with my colleague Yves LEBOUCHER, and Tamara LEE is connected on the phone, on the line, on the other side. So please, guys, Yves, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Els, for that introduction. So then let's start directly with a glimpse into the objectives of this webinar. So today's objectives are: we will provide an overview of the system, highlighting its key features, functionalities, and the benefits it offers to the TC officers. Tamara will present a step-by-step demonstration on how to navigate the system effectively, ensuring you feel comfortable using it. And for the end, a Q&A session, we will try to address questions you may have to ensure a smooth transition to the system and its new functionalities. So, the MRS itself. Meeting registration system, what we call MRS, serves as an essential tool for our technical committees. It offers centralized management, meeting preparation and organization, authorized access, delegation registration, and reporting capabilities. There are different meeting times that here we want to highlight in the various types that MRS can accommodate, including, generally CENELEC TC committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, BT task force meetings, and joint technical committee meetings. Another type are the working group meetings as a standalone. So basically the creation and management of single working group meetings. Last but not least, the system supports the creation and management of a series of working group meetings. This feature is particularly useful for ongoing projects that require kind of regular check-ins and discussions. So then let's dive quickly into the roles and responsibilities that are associated with MRS. On the left side, we have the role of the NC admin. So by effectively managing roles and permissions, the NC admin helps to streamline the meeting process and ensures that everything runs smoothly. Linked to the NC admin, beneath it is the role of the NC accreditor. So basically the person who accredits the participants. By ensuring that all participants are accredited, the accreditor serves as a, let's say, vital link between the NC and the meeting framework, enhancing collaborative efforts and especially upholding the standards of the participation itself. In the middle, we see the role of the TC and or SC secretary. This is the person who is responsible for creating and managing meetings within their TC or SC. So in summary, plays a multifaceted role that is essential for the smooth operation of meetings, facilitating effective collaboration, and also the communication within the committee. And here on the right side below, we have the role of the host committee organizer. So this is basically the representative of the NC hosting the meeting. So it plays a crucial role in kind of ensuring that the logistics of hosting a meeting are handled efficiently, contributing to the overall success of the event, and of course helps facilitate a smooth communication and coordination among all participants. Here we have a brief role mapping of MRS and EMS. So basically, you should know that all access rights and roles described or assigned in MRS are based and depending on the specific roles that you have been assigned in the EMS. So an NC administrator in an EMS role has the access rights in MRS to assign a creditor and so on. But we will see this in a practical approach also in the live demos from Tamara. This is basically showing an overview. Let's come to how to access the MRS, of course. First of all users must have a CENELEC username and password to access the online meeting registration system, the MRS. How to access and all information around MRS can be found on the CENELEC expert area. This is where you find your link to access it. How the creation and accreditation stuff works, we will then see in the next slides. So this will also include the first live demo from Tamara at the end. So quickly explaining how to create a meeting. So this is basically the menu for the officers, where officers can create a meeting. We will see this example in a second with Tamara. I will not be too detailed here on this slide. The menu shows you different tabs to create a meeting. Click on the meeting administration, which is here in the red color. There are some new functionalities in the administration sector for the meetings, such as the possibility to delete meetings and sub-meetings. Give me a second, that was the wrong slide. So if you click on the Create Meeting button, you will see this table. As a next step of the meeting creation, the secretary, chair, or convener must then complete the following information to be able to create the meeting, which is basically the meeting type of presence, committee name, hosting committee in the end, country and meeting dates. Don't forget to click on create when the informations are filled in. So once this is done, you have a third step to continue to create the meeting. The officer needs to add the meeting details. As we have seen, this is then how it is displayed, but this important information before you can fill in the registration start date, you have to go to the next table, meetings timetable. Only the information provided in the meetings timetable, which is here on the right, besides the details, will trigger the automatic creation of the meeting. Once you have done this step, you need to save it, but let's have a look into this meeting timetable also later with Tamara, but here also on the next slide. If you click on the meetings timetable after providing the information on the TC, we see here in the red color on the right side, edit timetable. That helps you to indicate when the meeting will take place. To the right side of it, you have also the function to add a meeting if it's required. This is a new functionality that multiple rooms are available here at the session level. Tamara will show us how to do it. And basically this creates then here the summary of the meeting and it's a schedule. On the top between the tabs and the timetable, you see also meeting information. This is at least enhanced functionality, so it offers an increased number of characters to put the practical information or visa text into it. Before it was 160 characters, now it's more. Generate invitation. I think we will deep dive into this in the next slide. Give me a second. That's right. So the guest invitation to a meeting. how to invite a guest to a meeting. The invite guest, the TC officer and host committee organizer use a unique link, which may be sent via email as an invitation. If the guest, this is important, already has an EMS account, it will be automatically accredited to the meeting. If the guest is not registered in the expert management system, they will need to create an account via this NC administrator as well. Since this year is a new functionality, the invitation automatically creates a text that you just need to basically copy paste together with a link and send it to the respective person via email. There is an alternative option for registration of a participant via another tab. This is specifically also for those having admin rights. On the right side, under the admin tab, you can alternatively register a participant only possible for NC admins and HC organizer. For example, if the TC officer and the organizer can register members of their respective committee or dependent ones. But this registration will definitely be subject to accreditation by the NC accreditor. So you need a role that is defined in EMS to do that. So I think now it's time for the first live demo from Tamara.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I will start by sharing my screen. So I'm on the test environment of MRS, and I'm going to show you with the view of a TC secretary. So let me get here we are. So I'm pretty sure you're already aware of this, but on the left side of the screen, we have different sections, and these sections vary depending on the role you have. So since I'm currently showing you with the TC secretary view, I get to see more sections. For example, the meetings I'm registered for, the meetings open for registration, the meeting accreditation. Now, as an NC accreditor, I am not allowed to, I'm not able to accredit any participant. To accredit, that is really the role of the NC accreditor. And so, but this is just for the TC secretary to see what the lists are, if there are any people pending. I mean, it's really for information only. Then in the meeting organization section, this is where you can make any changes you need. You can add documents, you can register participants, you can change information, postpone the meeting. And then here, this is only the TC secretary or the WIGI convener for standalone working groups have this tab, which is to create a meeting. Now, before I create a meeting, I would just also like to bring your attention to the switch tenant. So if some of you have you have a role in an IEC committee, we suggest you use this switch tenant rather than go back, because I think if you use the back arrow, sometimes you can get an error message. So that's it also, and always make sure that you're in the right tenant and then click on this. So now I'm going to create a meeting. So here we go, create meeting. For today's purpose, I'm going to create a TC. So you see, as a TC secretary, I only have access to the TC, SC, BTTFF or working group meetings. I do not have access to the working group standalone because that would be visible only to the working group convener. So I will take the TC. Let's take face-to-face and virtual. I will see the list of committees where I am the secretary. So let's take TC20, host committee Austria. Let's create a meeting in, let's say, the 5th and 6th. And now I'm going to However, this create button doesn't mean that the meeting is created. Now you have quite a lot of information you need to put in, as Yves showed you on the slides. And what I would suggest is we'll go through all the different tabs. You first need, actually, when you once you fill in all the information, then you can come back to this page and fill in the address and put the registration start date. What will trigger the real creation of the meeting is the registration start date, but it will only take that into consideration once you have filled in all the information from the other tabs. So now I will go to the meetings timetable. We have a warning that I need to schedule the meeting. We have nothing here, so I will put edit timetable. We will put, so first we choose the presence type. However, if you forget to do that, the system will remind you. I will put hybrid. I will leave it 8 to 12. Then I will do the same for the afternoon. On the next day, though, I would like to let you know about one thing. On this version of MRS, whether it's for CENELEC or for IEC, it is not possible to create a meeting that goes for the morning that goes beyond 1 p.m. So this is a little bit of a downside of the system. So for example, if I show you, if I want to create a meeting from 10 to 2, 10 to 2, the system won't let me because there is this kind of forced 1 hour break or break at 1 o'clock. So if you are in a situation where you have to create a meeting, then I would, I know that at IEC they play around with the GMT, the timing, but what I would do is, for example, I would start at 10 and finish at 1, because that's possible. And then create from 1 to 2, which is a bit of a pain, but then you have your meetings. Create. If there's any information that you need to give regarding this, regarding a meeting happening around, between 10 and 2, then you could edit here in the meeting information, and this is what has been a little bit enhanced. Just add the info that meeting is from, or whatever you want to write. And then you need to save, and then the information will appear at the top. Then I think here we're okay. Then if you want to book a room, you can add a room here. So you put the room name. I'm not very aware of the room. And then you need to put the maximum number of people. So let's say 45. Then you need to save. And we have our rooms. If you need to put information about a hotel, you would add it here if it's for a hotel suggestion for participants. For visas, I don't think, well, there's only 1 or 2 countries that might require visas, but you would create it here. Then events, we could create, for example, an event. So here you select the type of event. Let's say we want a dinner gathering at the end of the meeting. So you put social event, you put the name of the event, you write a little description, and then you save. Then if you create an event after during the meeting over the 2 days, you need to edit the timetable again. So let's say it'll be on the Friday PM. Here, you don't need to put the time. You can add the information here. Also, event information. Always remember to click Done. Then we have practical info. So here you could add documents which wouldn't be put on collaboration platform, or documents related to the meeting or the event you want to organize. Then in the admin tab, you have, I mean, these are the most used. So you could, you can see who is the NC accreditor and who's the, if you want to name an organizer. So just to go back to the role of HC organizer. HC organizer means host committee organizer. And this is an optional role that you can use, but you don't have to use. And basically, it's giving the same rights that you have as a secretary to somebody who could help you, for example, register participants or upload the document from collaboration platform to the MRS system. However, this HC organizer would have to come from the country from where the meeting will take place. So for example, here it would be Austria, although I do have a feeling that it's probably possible to register anyone in the committee as organizer. I think that might have changed recently. Anyway, it's somebody who will help you with the admin side of the meeting. And this HC organizer has almost the same permissions as the secretary, except this person cannot create meetings. Okay. And here, for example, if I wanted to create, I just want to show you that if you wanted to add somebody, you see the accreditor, there's no tick box. So as a secretary, you cannot assign the role of accreditor. Only the NC admin can assign the role of accreditor to an NC accreditor. But you can, as a secretary, assign the role of an organizer. Okay. And then in the admin still, if you want to register a participant, so then you would just do the same. And then you would just register the person here. But that you would do obviously once you've created the meeting. So I won't do it for now. And then you have the lists. So you have, well, I won't show you what's in the list since the meeting is not created yet, but you would have different lists, like depending on what you want to see. You can have all participants, participants by meeting and time, by event. So this is where you can download your lists. And then finally, in the document tab, this is where you could add a document from the collaboration platform. And to do this, it requires a few manual steps. So you do have here at the top on the left side a link to collaboration platform meeting list that will take you to the collaboration platform, but then you need to go and look for your TC and then the actual document. And when you click on this, it will take over this MRS page. So what I've done is I've opened a second tab, which is easier. I'm in my TC20 in the document. And what I do is I just copy the link and I go back to my MRS page. I add the document. Let's say it's the agenda. I add the link. I submit. And I have my document. And this document will appear on the registration page of the participant, which I'll show you later. So I will now go back. So I've filled in all the information I wanted. For the platform, it's really important to understand that you first, like unless you, like if you forget to fill in this part, you won't be able to create the meeting. And if you can't create the meeting, then it means that it won't be created, it won't appear in the different sections, and the participants will not be notified. So this is the very important part. And once this part is done, you go back to the details, and now you fill in the end part. So we edit, we write so I would say that it would be good to have like little red stars to inform us of what is mandatory, but I'm pretty sure I think you need to fill in the address, the postcode, and the town, and I think the rest is okay. And now is the moment that this date will trigger the creation of the meeting. So I just want some, because we've had a few cases of people creating a meeting, for example, 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't created, and the people thought they had created the meeting. And then 2 weeks later, they realize, oh, but the meeting is not created. And then they put, when we explained to them how to create a meeting, then they put the old date from 2 weeks ago. This will not work. You can't go back in time. So you need to put like the latest should be today, tomorrow, and any other day after this, but you can't go from today -1. So today I'll put 0. We're in October already. There we go. And now hopefully, oh wait, sorry, Austria. Now I need to save. And you'll see, like if it didn't work, you'll have a red sentence here telling you that it hasn't been successfully completed here. And now this meeting should appear in the meeting open for registration, which it is here. Okay, and then I think I have just 2 last things I want to say. Remember, I showed you how to register people from like this committee, like the TC20 or its children, but you can also register somebody from another committee by using this register participants. And if you need to register someone from outside of any committee structure, or if for somehow you can't register with here, you can go to the meeting timetable and generate an invitation. Okay, only the TC secretary and the HC organizer, because they have kind of the same roles, except the HC organizer cannot create meetings. Both of those roles can generate an invitation, and what you do is you write the number of people you need, this unique link. So let's say 2 people. Then you generate, and then this is what's been improved. We have the full, I mean, you could customize it afterwards, but we actually have an email and not just a link like we used to have. And you copy paste and you send it via your professional email. Okay, and what you need to remember is that people who will be registered with this link will be invited as guests. So they will have the role of guests at the meeting, and they will be accredited automatically. That means the NC accreditor doesn't need to accredit, since it's a direct invitation from the TC secretary. So this is, and then last thing, and then I'll give the floor back to poor Yves. If you want to postpone a meeting, you go here, postpone, and you just change the date. For example, we want it the week after. I think I already have a meeting on that date. And we move, and everything will remain the same, like for example, the meeting timetables, unless you want to change, but the timetables and also the event you created, and the participants will receive a new notification informing them of the change. Voila. And once a meeting is created, which is the case now, we have a new tab, which is delete meeting, and we can go in, and this will delete the meeting. This is also new. This is a new improvement that was added in July this year. Voila, Yves, you can continue now.
Okay.
If I can just interrupt before we continue, there are two questions in the inbox concerning what you've just explained, Tamara. So maybe it's a good moment to tackle these already. The first question is about the green highlights in the table on the left. What do they mean exactly?
They mean, very good question. They mean,
I'm trying to get back to the green
because the
ones.
meeting you
Oh,
just
okay.
created wasn't highlighted in green, right?
no, the meeting I've just created was highlighted. The one that wasn't highlighted was deleted because I deleted it yesterday. They're in green because they, I think it's because they are new. However, it's worth the investigation, and I will add that to the question and answers. We have the question in the Q&A box, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. So I'll make sure to answer that in the document that you will receive when we put the recording available to you.
Okay, that's fine. Another question.
Okay. Yeah.
Another question is about hybrid or online meetings. Someone wants to know if there is an automatically created Zoom link then.
Unfortunately, no. You have to create the Zoom link and add it to the maybe I could show you how to do that. I'll go back to one of my meetings, and we will put.
You're not sharing anymore.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I stopped my sharing.
Yeah.
Tamara, you can share if you
Yeah.
like.
Thank you. So what you need to do is, so you need to go to the meeting timetable of whatever meeting you are planning to add a link to. You go into it, and here you edit, and here is where you would put the Zoom link that you would need to create on Zoom. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, I think it does. Yeah.
Okay.
The two systems are completely separate, so people need to have their link if they want.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I see there's another question. Will there be an automated response to the already registered participant? Yes, of course. Yes, they will be informed.
Okay, good. And we've answered all questions, so I think if we can continue with the presentation.
I'm starting to share. It's coming. It's again showing these bars. Give me a second. Well,
yeah, apologies to the attendees. We have some
delete
issues with
this. It will disappear in a second. Then
yes.
in the middle there.
Voilà.
Okay. So thank you, Tamara. This was now we have created a meeting. Now we should register to a meeting. So what we see here is the main menu for the participants, how to register to a meeting as an expert delegate or kind of. So it's focusing on the personal view of the meeting registration. So we already discussed the highlighting colors and so. So again, on the top left side, we see the list of existing registrations. So where you have already registered for, and on the beneath it on the left side and marked in green, a list of open available meeting registrations according to the questions that we just heard or had. I would say then this has appeared as a new meeting open for registration in your list. Yeah, then let's dive into how this next registration level looks like. So this is then participants, or you will find the meeting under the meeting open registration. as shown a second ago. Then you, of course, click Start Registration here on the right side. That allows participants to begin their session and access the first registration page then in the end. I think Tamara will show it also in the live demo that you have to choose your type of presence, whether you start remote only registration. So if you like to be a virtual participant, so therefore the meeting needs to be hybrid, or start registration will automatically then start the registration page for a physical meeting. Yeah, beneath that you see the official documents and the timetable as it appears then in the end. In the next step, we will then see how the registration definitely looks like then on the next registration page. So step 3, to complete the registration process, participants must submit the registration. That's pretty logic. Important is that, as I said earlier, before you have to choose the type of presence. So then here you can still change to remote in your participation mode, but this is then also to be clicked before that. If you have, you should take the opportunity to update your contact details in the EMS so that here the personal details are always correct if necessary. And definitely also always a good idea to leave an emergency contact for any cases. Relevant documents, Tamara touched that point a second ago as well. For the meetings, like draft agendas, can be uploaded here, but definitely the official document only shows up when the creator uploads the document from the collaboration platform onto the MRS. So again, we have these kind of separated systems, and you have to upload it definitely from the collaboration platform. Now, in the overview of your registration, there might be the notification that your application is on hold. So then normally you would like to check that you have clicked the submit button and filled out the mandatory information fields. That could also be a reason for putting you on hold. After the registration to your meeting, the NC accreditor needs definitely to approve the registration, and only then it appears as approved in the system. An email will then be automatically sent to you and confirm the successful registration, as in the example before, also for cancellation of it. Yeah, then happy to hand over for the live demo of the registration part back to Tamara. I will go out of my sharing mode. Stop. There you go, Tamara.
Thank you. So now I am in a different screen with the view from a participant. And as you can see, I don't have as many sections as the secretary. So here I have meetings I am registered for and meetings open for registration. And I think the first thing you need to know, because we've had this comment quite a few times, is in order to be a participant to any meeting, whether you need to have an account in EMS. I'm just saying that because on the CEN meeting application, it's possible to be registered without having an account in the GD. But for the CENELEC, you need to, if you wish to invite somebody who is not in EMS, you need to create an account or have create accounted for this person and then delete it when the meeting is over. So I am now a participant. I'm going to select one of the meetings I want to register to or for. And this is my first page. So I have two tabs. I have start remote only registration. So I'll click on this.
I think that answers the question that just popped up in the Q&A about the fact that they are asking if it's possible to indicate whether a person can attend only physical or virtually. Especially important to have the order of lunches. So I think that's the answer, right, Tamara?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'll show you how to switch if you needed to switch.
Okay, great.
So start remote. So you'll get a little message saying, are you sure you want to participate remote? And then you land on this page. This can be a little bit confusing for newcomers because it looks like you have to register twice. That's actually the reality. Now you have to, that was register, and now you have to submit your registration. So here you could still, if you wanted, change to in person. But for the purpose of today's example, I'm going to register to remote and then try to switch to face-to-face in person. So I check that my personal details are correct. I see I'm registered for all the sessions, and now I will submit the registration. Okay, so now you see, so the registration status was submitted. However, my registration is pending until the NC accreditor from my country says I can go to the meeting. And it'll stay so until then. And once it's been approved, you will receive an email to confirm that you've been successfully registered to the meeting. Now, what I want to do is go into an example where I'm already registered. I just want to see, I've been approved and I want to change. So I'm just, Yves, wait, how am I registered here? Face-to-face. Okay, I said face-to-face. Sorry, I'm a bit slow. And now I want to change to virtual. So I will go to the timetable. This is not what I wanted to do. Wait. Okay. So if you need to change your registration from face-to-face to virtual or virtual to face-to-face, there are unfortunately quite a few steps which are described in the user guide, which was updated this year. So if some of you have downloaded the version from last year, this explanation won't be in the user guide. So you need to use the latest version. There's approximately 7 to 8 steps, which I agree is a little bit of a pain. In order to change, and you need to follow them precisely because otherwise you'll get error message. So let's hope I'll manage to do that here. I'm still not very happy, so I'll update registration. Okay, sorry, I was expecting to see edit, but here it is. So the first thing you need to do is you need to, sorry, this is my, I need the list to do this too. So you first need to deregister from the sessions where you are registered. So this is what I'm doing now with a little bit of difficulty, sorry. And then you need to click on Done. Then you go back to the summary. We're in the summary session, and you need to cancel registration. So you understand, first you need to cancel every attendance to every meeting in the morning and the evening and the afternoon, and then come back to this main registration and cancel it. Okay, now you see your registration has been cancelled. It would be good to not click too fast with MRS, as you know, because it sometimes reacts strangely. So now I've been talking. I'll reactivate the registration. Are you sure? Yes. Now I need to go to the participation tab, and I will change to in person. I've just clicked on change percent, and now I need to go back to the
Thanks.
and select, thank you, Yves, select face-to-face. Then go done. Okay, so now you are officially in person. And then again, you need to submit your registration. The newly corrected registration has now been submitted. However, it's subject to another accreditation. Okay, so you have to undo everything, then do it all again, submit your registration, and it needs to be approved again by the NC accreditor. So that's for the participation. So that's it for me. I will have now a look to see if there are any questions.
No, there's nothing.
There's nothing. Okay, sorry, I was a little bit, I hope people understood because it's not a very easy process. Your turn, Yves.
So it's definitely not switching from cancel registration to the new one and stuff. So I'm happy to show that example also for myself. So then after the registration, it comes the accreditation to the meetings. So let's have a look. Yeah, I have to close again this annoying navigation bar. Meeting accreditation. So here focus is for the NC accreditors, for all of you, but of course here with focus for the NC accreditors shows the main menu of the meeting accreditation. And we have seen this left bar a few times now. This view shows the upcoming meetings, those being available for registration, and lists the meeting which require accreditation from the NC accreditor. So on the next slide, we will see a bit more in detail for the meeting accreditation, how it looks like once you have opened the meeting accreditation of the specific meeting. So upon selecting a meeting from the meeting accreditation list, the accreditor will be able to view the number of pending registrations. So need to prove the participation request and click to follow the link in order to approve or disapprove. So I mean here the blue colored link that will then guide you to the detailed view of the meeting registrations. The accreditor has the capability to modify the registration status and may change participants' role when needed. So here the task is to check the role, which is here the blue column in the middle, and status, which is the last one with a drop-down menu, by selecting from the drop-down menu the status, which might be pending, so it's to be approved or disapproved, or also adjust the role, which is maybe, as here in this example, not indicated. So it might be a guest, delegate, convener, or also head of the delegation. Here's a new functionality, so notifications, new notification for if a head of delegation is missing in the list, for example, for the meeting, and has also advanced notification with the participants or with the kind of participants summary. So I think, and Tamara will certainly show us in the live demo as well, here's a certain order to save the adjustments that you make here. So I think, I hope I'm correct, that first changing the role, then approving or disapproving, or then proving the status, and then it needs to be saved. But we will test and trial this in a second. Which is again right now, Tamara.
Yeah.
Again, your turn. Give me a second. I will get out of my slides of my presentation. No, this is the wrong one. So there you go. Yeah, you're already there.
Yeah, thank you. So now I'm in another screen with the viewpoint of an NC accreditor. So as you can see here on the left, compared to the participant, I have meeting accreditation section. And there are two things I need to remind you of is that, so we have NC accreditors that need to accredit participants' registration for TC levels and subcommittees and TC and SC level, so the main level. For working groups, there is no NC accreditor. For working groups, the experts, they register and then they are automatically registered to the meeting. And if somehow the WIGI convener needs to invite somebody from another platform, then he will invite the person and let the person in, but there is no role of NC accreditor for the working group level. And then the second thing which is important to remember is I will always have this box, but this box could be empty even if the meeting has been created. And the reason for that is because the meeting which has been created will only appear when somebody from your country, from your NC has registered. So let's say, for example, I created before a meeting for, I think it was beginning of December. Let's say somebody from France registers, somebody from Denmark registers, but nobody from Austria. And I forgot to tell you, but in this example, I'm from the Austrian NC. And the meeting will only appear when one of the participants from Austria registers to the meeting. Okay, so it could be that you know that there are people who have registered to the meeting, but they're not from Austria. So in this example, I am going to take an example where my previous testing person, who is Olivia, registered to the meeting. So now I will go to this meeting, for example. I see I have one person pending. I click here. And now I have to decide whether if I can approve her. So what I do notice in this example, though, is she doesn't have a role. So if there's no role, you can change the role first. And then you will have, if it's, you can choose between head of delegation or delegate. In this example, Violet is a delegate. From Austria, I save the role. And then I change the pending to approved. And then you need to save. So first role, then you approve the status, then you saved. And if you, for some reason, had to disapprove somebody's registration, then we would require you to write a remark explaining why in the remark section. So save. And now she is approved. Okay. I think this is it for the NC accreditor, unless there are some questions.
There's a question not in relation to the accreditation, but in a general question about the fact, or the question is if the MRS is mandatory for working groups or even groups with less official purpose.
Well, this is always a tricky one to answer. It's highly recommended to use MRS because that's the purpose of, I mean, I don't know if the question comes from because it looks complicated. The more you use it, the easier it'll get. But it's highly advised to use the MRS system. Also because it's easier to keep all the information in one place and not have tons of emails circulating.
And Tamara, if I may assist there,
Yeah,
I mean, it also gives us the information who's attending the working group meetings, who is there, what is
yeah,
the
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
participants. So this information is a delegate convener being there, stuff like all these formalities and information. And imagine the working group meeting is taking place, for example, here at CCMC in Brussels. We also need the information for the lunch stuff and these informations. Yeah, but also being informative and necessary for the host committee organizers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Yves.
Someone else is wondering if the system MRS is tested on different browsers. If it acts differently or
Well, it shouldn't. Like we always recommend to use Edge or Chrome. I'm not sure I understand the link with Facebook. There shouldn't be any dependencies on Google or Facebook, no.
okay.
And then isn't it a must to use the MRS? I mean, yeah, that's also another point. I mean, it's strongly suggested to use MRS. Let's put it that way. But I haven't seen the word mandatory.
Good. I think that's it so far for the question. We still have a few minutes. We just have also informative closing slides. I have to go back in. Give me a second. Other screens sharing. I'm sorry to disconnect you tomorrow. And help and supply. Okay, this annoying bar is coming back again. This information we don't need. Help and support. We always try, of course, to provide help and support in any ways. There is a lot of resource materials, such as the recording of the webinar. User guides are available on the CENELEC expert area. So you can go there. You have that, I don't know if you see the CENELEC site, you have trainings and materials in the menu tab. Click on training and events, and it will provide you the whole list of manuals that we have in place for these kinds of tools. Not only MRS, also projects and blah, 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 stuff like that. Support secretaries are advised to reach out to the respective CCMC project manager for any inquiries and assistance. I'm happy that I have seen here in the attendance list some of my TC secretaries as well. So happy to at least provide some guidance in there, or together with Tamara, of course. Conveners are advised to contact their secretaries for further guidance, and any inquiries regarding permissions or access recommend following the standard procedure, which is described here. Just click on it quickly if we have a link there. But in case it's giving, yeah, you have here some guidance.
But you're sharing the PPT only.
Yeah,
So
okay.
but it's okay. It
Yeah,
works.
okay, it works.
We
That's
will
fine.
share anyway the presentation as well, so people can click on it.
That's good. That's good. Coming back. Sorry, I have to close this one. What do you see right now?
No.
We see half a screen.
Half the screen is not good.
No, there you are.
Yeah, and yes,
Yeah,
that's I think from my side.
yeah, I just would like to launch a poll for all the attendees as well. It's just a short poll with 3 questions that we would like to ask you to fill in, because we use it for our statistics and to improve our webinars in the futures. So there are no open questions anymore in the Q&A. It's 12 o'clock, so I think we can close the webinar after this, unless someone is still typing in a question at this very moment. So if that's the case, let's wait 1 more minute. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't launch the poll. Here we go. And as I promised in the beginning, for those who missed it, we will share the presentation and the link to the recording afterwards. So you can have a look again, or maybe share it with some colleagues interested in the MRS.
No questions so far.
No questions anymore, but I can see people are still filling in the poll. So if we disconnect the webinar, then we lose the poll as
Oh,
well,
no.
so we don't want that. There's one more question that came in. I'm not too sure that the participants will identify whether a registration is virtual or face-to-face. Okay. I guess that means the person thinks it's hard to identify where to find that information, right?
Well, it'll be I think in the notification they will receive, and then when they register, it's okay, I agree. It does take some time to get used to the screen. But as I said, like the information is on the user guide. So, and we're here to help if some participants have trouble registering.
Of course. Thank you, Tamara. Okay, I guess we can close the webinar here. No, someone else is just answering a question. If someone wants to attend a working group meeting as a guest, does he or she need an EMS profile as well?
So yes, absolutely. And the reason for that is because we have the CIF, so it's the ISO IC CENELEC authentication that we use when we log in to have access to all the applications. And in order to have access to the MRS, you need to have a profile, no matter what your role is, external or in obviously in a committee you would have, but also for working group meetings.
Okay, that's clear. Okay, then I suggest we close down the webinar here. Thank you very much, Tamara and Yves, for the interesting explanations. Thank you for answering all the questions, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.